How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up
Matisse
CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Let's look. Welcome back to Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson. As always, I have with me Gino Conti. And we're back here at Bridgewater State University. You know, we were in Marshfield for a little bit, but we're back here at college doing another episode. And, Gino, how are we feeling today?
You know, this table feels like not as crowded. You
It
know,
does.
having the 4 people around. I will say, it's very, very nice just being back, too, because I hate everybody that we brought on. Everyone else sucks besides us, too.
It's true.
So,
It's factual.
me and Will are the 2 smartest men ever in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone else, you know, we just carried on our back. Our backs are
sure,
starting to
for sure.
hurt, so we just had.
Of course.
And just for a quick note, this episode, I'm only going to be reading excerpts from Bill Cowher's autobiography.
And that'll be it.
Yeah, the what's it called? The thumbnail is very misleading. I apologize.
It's only
Come on,
Bill
Nicholson.
Cowher. It's only Bill Cowher. Yeah, but we're back here. I mean, obviously the thumbnail and the title is pretty obvious. I mean, we're discussing what's going on with the Patriots, and obviously they lost to the Bills in this offseason, and what's next for the Patriots? And Gino, I want to know from you, what do you think is next for the Patriots?
Well, what's next is next time they play in Buffalo, I'm gonna take the 9-hour ride with the boys. That's what's next. First of all, I am so goddamn jealous I wasn't able to go to that game. Okay, I'm jealous. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Cause man, it sounded like they had the time of their lives, even though they did get blown out.
Yeah.
Okay, real quickly, Jamie Collins had the worst game I've ever seen a football player.
He did not play well.
I go, how the hell are you a professional football player and you ever hear the saying, fat guys don't lie?
No, but I agree with it.
Yeah, that's in reference to NFL linemen, okay? When you're a defensive player, lots of the time you're told to read the lineman. You're told to be like, all right, that's how you diagnose whether it's a pass or a run. If they take their steps backwards and they start pumping their hands out, it's a pass. If they start moving forward or turn their feet in different directions, okay, like any sort of steps, specifically at an angle, then you know it's a run. Okay, what Jamie Collins did, he just met a blocker on, an offensive lineman or a tackle or a guard, head on. He didn't even have his eyes in the backfield. He dug his head into the lineman's chest, and then he didn't even attempt to make any play on the ball, and the guy just ran right by him. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know this is like a what's next video, but I want to do like a quick 2-minute thing on the game.
We gotta summarize. I mean, what happened for what's happening next.
Yeah, and from what I saw, okay, like I love Devin McCourty, I love Dante Hightower, but they either need to not be on the team next year, or unfortunately, well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, or they need to get their way maybe into a more rotational role.
Sure.
You know, with the team, that I would say.
Yeah.
Because I think that they still have redeeming qualities. Okay, but it's clear, it's obvious. Like I said, they're slow, and I just think they've lost too many steps for them to be considered valuable every down starters now.
The way that the offenses in the NFL are shifting to a lot more speed and a lot more. You got guys like Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, fast guys who just go across the middle, and that's kind of their bread and butter. Now, that's not what Dante Hightower is good at. He's not good at being a coverage linebacker. He's a run stopper. And while that is valuable, I mean, the game is evolving so much now, and I love this so much that you have guys like Micah Parsons playing linebacker who, okay, he can do it all. He's physical, he's fast, he can do that. And even Fred Warner, guys who can just go and do it all. I know you're a big Fred Warner guy.
I love Fred Warner.
Yeah, the guys like that are able to just fly around the field, sideline to sideline, be physical, be a run stopper. And while Dante Hightower is a physical guy, I mean, he's getting older, he's losing his steps, and I think it showed versus the Buffalo Weapons. I mean, they barely had a run game all year, and they were running all over us, whether it be Josh Allen or Singletary or whoever they have in that backfield. They blew us out. I mean, there's no simple answer. We all watched the game. I mean, every time they touch the ball,
I'd rather not watch that game again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you think, real quick? So this is actually kind of in regards to the future. So we'll start off here. What do you think is the possibility of Dante Hightower maybe moving into that kind of hybrid defensive end or stand-up linebacker but always rushes the quarterback role? Kind of like what Clay Matthews, DeMarcus Ware, and James Harrison did.
I think that would be good for him. I think that would be the perfect role for him. Like I say, he's a good run stopper. He's good as a stand-up guy, but I don't think he's fast enough at the linebacker position to keep up with all these weapons. But I mean, what he does is still valuable. So it's not like, oh, let's throw out Dante Hightower. I don't think he should retire. I think he's a guy who should actually hang around and stay, and I think he's got a spot in the league. Devin McCourty, it might be time.
He's 35.
Yeah.
So
it's looking.
Listen, so if you had the choice, if you were Bill Belichick, because I think, like I said, I think it's clear that they can't be the every down guys anymore. Would you, if you had Dante Hightower and you had Devin McCourty, you sat them down, would you say, sorry guys, it's time for you to go? Or would you say it's time for you maybe to sit back, let the young players flourish, and then in certain scenarios, your talents or your traits are going to be valuable?
I still think Dante Hightower has a place in this league. I think he's still physical, and he's younger than McCourty, I believe.
Yes.
But McCourty, I mean, he's getting old, man. He was
drafted in 2007.
Yeah, no,
so
crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane how long he's been around the league, but I think it's time. And look, if he leaves, the Patriots will need a new captain anyway, and that's kind of when Mac Jones slides in and takes that full leadership role. And I don't know. I think it might be the end of football for Devin McCourty. Great dude. I think he's one of the people who actually is like part owner of the New England Free Jacks, the rugby team. So he's going to be super successful after football. He's a smart kid. He's already moved from corner to safety, and he's going to adjust. But I think his time in football is over, which is unfortunate. But look, if Julian Edelman's time was over, it's time for Devin McCourty.
So it wouldn't surprise me actually if Devin McCourty finds his way onto the coaching staff at some point.
That is a possibility too.
Because like Gerard Mayo, like we all knew like when the end was there for Gerard Mayo, but one thing that you don't ever lose, I mean, unless you go into your 70s and 80s, is your intellect. Yeah. You know what I mean? As a football player, if you're smart, you're a field general, like lots of those guys end up becoming coaches. They don't even have to be in the NFL. It could be like in college. It could be like of just their local high school team. I think that Devin McCourty definitely has a future as a coach on some level of the league, in my personal opinion.
No, I believe so. Yeah, that's totally a possibility for him if he wants to do it.
So what are you thinking? So yeah, do you think that when you say Dante Hightower still has a spot in the league, would you keep him or would you be like, sorry, would you like time to go?
It would depend on first of all, what we're willing to keep paying him, and also what he wants to do as a. Because if he still wants to be that linebacker and play less downs, I mean, I think you move him at that point. But if he wants to maybe change and, like you said, kind of be a stand-up linebacker, like defensive end type role, I think that's better for him. So I'd say keep him for that. But I think that he's got a spot in the league. I think, but it's about the fit because he's not that dude anymore. He's not the guy that we saw in the Super Bowl versus the Falcons. He's not getting off the ball. He barely got sacks this year. I mean, talk about it.
I was actually there for one of his sacks.
Yeah?
Yeah, against Jacksonville.
How many did he have? He had to have no more than like 3,
No more than 3. But and I'll tell you, so the one that he did have, I was actually there for the game, and his pursuit is still there. It's just his speed. Like one thing you don't lose too, like it's weird, like your tackling, you don't lose.
No.
You know what I mean? Because that's all technique. Okay, so like your technique and like your like knowledge, like I say, it doesn't go away.
He's a fantastic athlete still. He's just
your speed.
He's a step slower than all these fast guys, and the way that the NFL is transitioning to these speedy guys, the Tyreek Hills, the Deebo Samuels, he just can't keep up with them. He can't do it.
Yeah.
Guys like Micah Parsons, Fred Warner, all those guys can. They can get across.
Well, those are Micah Parsons we'll see next year.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not willing to label him a superstar yet. But we'll see next year. If he performs again like he does next year, then yes. But Fred Warner, I think he's the second. I'm sorry. With Bobby Wagner.
Careful, Conti.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner. I love Bobby Wagner.
Conti.
I think he's the second best middle linebacker.
Sure.
Because I love Bobby Wagner. So I'm always going to give him that respect. But I mean, what do you think about the secondary role?
The secondary, first of all, we for sure need some work. I don't even think we keep J.C. Jackson. I think he wants the bag, and I don't think we're willing to give it to him. So it's tough.
Put yourself in the shoes of Bill Belichick. What I'm saying, I'm not trying to say like you try to act like Bill Belichick, but say you're the general manager. You know what I mean? Because that's what Bill is, along with being the coach GM. What do you do with J.C. Jackson? Because I got some opinions that I don't think you'll agree with.
Well, look, we traded Gilmore, and I mean, this was the reason why, and I said during that episode, like, we really should be back in J.C. Jackson if we're getting rid of Gilmore, because, man, would it have been good to have Gilmore on Saturday. Man, would it have been good to just take Stephon Diggs out of it, one-on-one corner, it would have been good to have Gilmore. But you got J.C. Jackson, and he kind of got lit up. And look, I don't know. I mean, you trying to develop him? He's still pretty young. I mean,
JC at this point is who he is. You know what I mean? So I mean, the way I look at it, okay, like J.C. Jackson, he is a complete corner. He is. Okay, and he's not the complete corner superstar stud like Jalen Ramsey is.
But he can play man, he can play zone.
Yeah, he can
take away your best weapon.
Except Stephon Diggs. For some reason, Stephon Diggs has that guy's number. Okay, and that's not a bad thing. You know, sometimes there are just some people who have your number.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the reality of the situation. You know, it just is what it is. And it sucks that Stephon Diggs is there and we have to see him twice, or maybe in this case, 3 times a year, and see JC struggle. But the way I look at it, I go, if you're going to pay JC Jackson, like you said, he's going to be looking for that Jalen Ramsey type money. He's going to be looking for that Marlon Humphrey type money. I think that he has this talent and he has the cachet so far to be mentioned among guys, like in consideration for a top 5 corner.
Yeah.
I don't think, though, that he's on the echelon of Ramsey, of Marlon Humphrey, of Jair Alexander, of Denzel Ward, guys like that. And I'm in no particular order am I saying that. I'm just bringing up names who I believe are better than him. You know, so if that's do you handcuff yourself like that?
I don't know, because look, we've talked about this draft a little bit. Maybe I forgot on the show if we did, but we've talked about it in general. I mean, this is a defensive loaded draft. Like, there's a lot of defensive guys in there.
And Derek Stingley is one of the top prospects.
Dude, if you're the Patriots, do you say, all right, let JC walk, and then you get a stud corner with a late first rounder? I mean, it's possible. Like, this draft is. I'm not saying you're gonna get Jalen Ramsey there, but you're gonna get a guy who's cheaper, most definitely cheaper, and who might be better or the same as J.C. Jackson.
So the way I look at it too, I mean, because Bill has always found a way, whether it be through trading for somebody who was a bit underachieving or getting an undrafted free agent. I mean, Malcolm Butler undrafted, J.C. Jackson was undrafted.
Yeah.
He's had a track record with being able to get guys who aren't really viewed as great anymore. I mean, look what happened. He got Revis. I'm sorry, he got Aqib Talib. Don't forget, Aqib Talib was really like the first guy like we've had on this trend of like the last, I'd say about 6 to 8 years of like having that really good one corner. It was Talib, then we got Revis, and then we got Malcolm Butler. We got Stephon Gilmore, and then it was JC. You know, so I mean, and look at it, Malcolm Butler and JC both were freaking undrafted. Okay, Aqib Talib was good, but he turned it on a whole nother level.
So do you go and pull that next guy?
I mean, I honestly don't know if we should draft somebody in like the first or second round that pertains to corners.
I'm just saying this. I don't think we should do that. Personally, I think we should go get a receiver. I think we need a receiver or some type of weapon.
How badly?
I think it should be our top priority.
Receiver? You really think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Look, this team goes to the next level if you have someone on that level of just being able, like a playmaker. The Patriots have always had it. You know, in the Brady era at least, it was always, okay, you had Deion Branch, obviously Randy Moss. Even in the later years, you still had like Wes Welker, you had Julian Edelman, you had Gronk. This is the first year that I can remember where the Patriots didn't have, that's that guy to go and get it. Obviously, last year, I guess you could argue too, but Patriots fans would pretend last year didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think receivers got to be the go-to, whether that's free agency or the draft. I mean, there's not a whole lot of free agents out there. When you really think about it. I guess there's Allen Robinson if they, don't forget.
Adam Humphries is out there.
Sure, but
Adam Humphries is kind of like that Wes Welker, that Julian Edelman type. You know, I mean,
I've heard Godwin third round.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he would demand a big money contract, and I'm personally not willing to give that to him. Okay, like in my opinion,
I don't know,
because he just tore his ACL. Don't forget. So I mean, especially when you're running and as that slot guy, you're making these sharp cuts, these quick cuts, like coming across the middle, like those quick crossing routes. Who knows if he'll be the same? I personally think that Adam Humphries is a good fit. He's that short, like that slot receiver. And I think that he could really be somebody that Mac Jones would benefit playing with. Okay, but if you could take a look at it, I don't think that this receiver core is as bad as it seems. Like, I guess before I call it, I'm gonna say Hunter Henry. I'm gonna say Jonnu Smith. Okay, they're tight ends. Yes, I know. Okay, but I mean, if you look at it, Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, have more than earned their spot in the league. Those are two legit receivers. Okay, then you have Hunter Henry, who was an elite. I'll say it, an elite red zone threat this year. Would you agree?
I'd agree with you for
a touchdown machine.
Sure. Yeah.
So I personally am not going to give up on Jonnu Smith. Okay, I think that he's somebody who, if we get him more acclimated and somebody, if we give him a little bit more attention, he could actually be a useful signing for us. Okay, I think that he could. I still am holding out hope on Jonnu Smith that this year was just kind of like getting used to a year. But I reserve judgment to say it doesn't work if he doesn't fit next year. Nelson Aguilar is a guy who every other year turns it on and off. Okay, every other year now it'll be like, oh, Aguilar sucks. Remember the last year in the Eagles, we were like, Aguilar sucks. He went to the Raiders. Oh man, what the hell happened? Nelson Aguilar.
The drops are gone.
Yeah. So Nelson Aguilar, like I said, is like an every other year type player.
I'm not buying that though. I'm not buying it.
I think that Aguilar will be better.
Gino,
not good, better. I think he'll be better. You preach
guys having one good year on a contract year and then getting the bag. Is that not Nelson Aguilar?
I do, and that's a fair criticism. But if you look at the track record, that's what Nelson Aguilar's done. Okay, so if you look at Nelson Aguilar's track record, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So and like I said, that is a fair criticism, and I do say that a lot. But like he's been in the league since 2015 now, I believe. Yeah. So that's 7 years we had to evaluate where it's like, all right, sucks, good, sucks, good, sucks, good. Okay, like,
just on and off.
And so it's inconsistent. And I never minded the contract because it was 2 years, you know. So
I don't know if you keep him though. I don't know if you do.
I mean, for 1 year, who cares? You know, for one.
But I still think you need that guy. You need that to win in this league right now, or to have Mac Jones have a chance. You need that DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams. I don't know how I blanked on his name.
I love Adams.
You need that Stephon Diggs. You need that type of receiver. Like you need that go-getter. You need to go get the ball. Should have been N'Keal Harry. It's not.
Yeah.
Could have been Deebo Samuel, but I'll never get over. I'm gonna go off track a little bit. I will never, as a Patriots fan, get over us drafting Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel and N'Keal Harry. Those are drafts I will never get over, and I'll always argue that the Patriots are bad drafting for that. There's so much talent in that draft, and the fact that we took Harry over like Deebo and like DK, like.
Well, Deebo was a slow developer. Let's keep that in mind.
But he would have been the perfect Patriot.
I do love Deebo Samuel.
He would have been the perfect Patriot.
I do love Deebo Samuel, but I don't like this criticism either, okay? 31 other teams also passed up on Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and whoever else you said. Okay, like 31 other teams did as well, so 31 other teams are also just as much as fault. Okay, so the way.
Come on!
Yeah. And
it's just who we drafted. I don't respect it. I don't. They were bad draft picks.
All right.
And I said they weren't good draft picks. I'm like, oh, but Sony Michel, he did all this at where was he at? Georgia or something?
Yes.
I'm like, oh, he did all this at Georgia. I wasn't buying it then, and I've been proven right.
Well, without Sony Michel, did we win that Super Bowl?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sony Michel was pretty much our stalwart there for that playoff stretch.
I don't think so. I think
who scored the one touchdown?
Yeah, sure, but it was a 1 yard touchdown. Come on.
Okay. And
I think Damian Harris could have done that.
Damian Harris, I don't believe Damian Harris was there at the time, or
no,
he got redshirt year.
Sure,
he was redshirt year.
Yeah, but I'm not like if he were there, like I think if you put Damian Harris in that position, I think he does about the same as Sony Michel.
Okay, but the fact is that Sony did it. So and like he did well. He's done well in his opportunities with the Rams. He's actually turned it on this year.
He is not a first round pick.
He's not a first round pick.
Sure.
He's not. I'm not justifying the pick, but I'm telling you he's not as bad as you make it out to be.
Okay? I didn't like him. I thought he was the driving force. Slow as shit.
He was the driving force.
He would get hawked down by like linebackers.
He was the driving force to our Super Bowl run.
He was not. It was Tom Brady and Julian Edelman and Robert Kraske.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about the Rams. The Rams or the Chiefs.
Sure.
I'm not talking about the Edelman catch. Okay. Like Gronk did make like a fantastic diving catch there to set us up, but that's not what I'm talking about. The Super Bowl with the Rams, and then when we beat Kansas City, like Rex Burkhead also was there, and he did get that winning touchdown, but still, so Sony Michel, he was drafted in 2019. Don't forget. I believe it was 18 or 19. I actually think it was 18. I'm sorry, but the following year. So. I mean, I don't know, and Isaiah Wynn at the time made sense because we lost Nate Solder. Remember?
Yeah.
So Isaiah Wynn at the time made sense. N'Keal Harry, I'll give you N'Keal Harry.
I just wanted Lamar.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, think about it. Everyone was ready to give Lamar Jackson the gold jacket to Canton, and now what happens? They're not even in the damn playoffs. All right.
Yeah, but he was hurt.
He was hurt, but I mean, look at that. I mean, he's not going to last another 3 years. And Lamar's
Whoa, come on,
he's not. Running quarterbacks don't last.
I disagree.
Who else?
I disagree.
Who?
But I think Lamar's 101. I think he'll hang around for a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, the proof's in the pudding. He was hurt this year.
Yeah, okay, but he still plays good when he's on the field. You just gotta keep him on the field.
Okay, and are they gonna?
I hope.
I don't think they're gonna.
I think Lamar will surprise you. We'll see though.
He's not gonna. Okay, listen. If anything, he's gonna be like RG3. Okay, and he'll be a backup. But in terms of starting quality quarterbacks, by 2025, Lamar Jackson will at least be a backup in the league.
No.
Okay.
You think that Lamar is gonna? You think so? I wanna say this, and I'll go back to him because he's my favorite player in the NFL. Obviously, do you think that Jordan Love stays in the league longer than Lamar as a starter?
Oh, as a starter, I'm not sure.
Okay.
As a starter, I'm not sure. Okay, but as a quarterback, yes. As a quarterback in general, yes. Because listen, he's not gonna run all the time. Okay, he's not gonna get beat up. He's not gonna get hurt. Okay, but that big arm, that big potential, that high ceiling, will always be there for Jordan Love. So that's what I'm saying. And teams,
the turnovers will also always be there for Jordan.
Maybe, and you may be right, but teams will always look at that
He's
upside.
just a worse Drew Lock. He's just a worse Drew Lock.
And that could be. And I don't want it to be mistaken just because Will hates Jordan Love that I like him. Okay,
Sure,
I just want to know why he hates him. You know, I reserve my judgment on Jordan Love until he becomes a consistent starter in the league. I do.
Sure, that's fair.
You know, I do. So, anyways, getting back to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually don't mind if we were to franchise tag J.C. Jackson. I wouldn't mind if we were to franchise him. Like if it was maybe 1 or 2 years. 2 years at the most, like the Nelson Aguilar deal. Obviously, just with a bit more money because he'd demand more than $13 million a year.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I think that if you were to give JC that short-term contract, then yes, do it. Like I said, no more than 2 years. But if he's looking for that, like that lucrative, like 4-year or 5-year, $100 million deal, I say no.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I say no. I say kind of pull the plug. And I'm a little surprised, Will, that you're kind of just like not give him the bag. You know, because
he played bad, man. He played look. Should we give him the bag? I mean, I think so. I would love to have J.C. Jackson on this team. I think he's still got, some juice left in him. Obviously, he's very young still, but I think he still has potential to be, that corner, that top guy. He was a ball hawk this year. He didn't have a bad year. He just played bad in the playoffs. And I think, knowing Bill though, he doesn't like to pay guys, so that's why I'm talking about the possibility of him not being here. It's become a reality. I thought we should have paid Gilmore. We should have kept Gilmore, and look how wrong I was. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I truly don't know.
So, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, okay? And you're probably gonna roll your eyes. You want to know what I think really and truly has been the deciding factor, and what would be the deciding factor if we don't re-sign J.C. Jackson? I'm sure you've heard me say this, right?
Let me hear it.
Christian Barmore. Before I explain, tell me why you think that's ridiculous.
What, to just pay Barmore?
No. I'm saying that Christian Barmore is the reason. If we do not re-sign J.C. Jackson, that Christian Barmore would play a huge element in that reason.
No. Explain how. That makes no sense.
Well, do you want to know why? Because
yes.
what you know that Christian Barmore really has become kind of like, oh my god, an eye opener in the league as a rookie.
Yeah.
You know that he's been highly impressive. And I'm sure you saw like Mitch Morse, the Bill Center, like dap him up and like encourage him after the game because
he's a dog for sure.
Yeah, as an interior lineman, his run stopping does need some work. Okay, he's more of a pass rusher, but in terms of pass rushing ability, that is he's
great.
For a rookie, awesome.
Yeah.
And I see nothing but great things in his future. Okay,
yeah.
When the defensive line and the offensive line on each side of the ball is the foundation of the only thing that the linemen in any phase of football aren't the foundation is the special teams. I want to know why. Because they don't have line. Because they don't have a line. Okay, they don't have a line, and well, technically they do with punts and kick. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Most of those guys are not even linemen, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So
I was never on special teams. That should tell you all you need.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, I go, when you build your foundation so strongly that lessens the need for things elsewhere. Because let me explain. You have all these pass rushers. Judon, I think, is going to come back because something was wrong with him once he came back. I think it was either the slowdown from COVID or was he had like an unmarked injury that nobody was talking about or mentioning that Bill Belichick and the Pats swept under the rug. When you have that pass rush and when you have, especially from the interior, which is rare, which is what Barmore was doing, which is why it's very impressive. Because lots of your big beefy guys come from the interior and they clog up those holes, and not a lot of interior pass rushers can do it at a high level like Barmore did. Okay? When you have that elite pass rush, well, the dude that collapses the pocket. When you collapse the pocket, the quarterback has to roll out and he makes throws under duress. And when you make throws under duress, they can be bad. You know what I mean? They can be off target. They can. I
gotta know how this relates to JC though.
Because that lessens the need for great corners. Because if they make throws under duress, or if they make not as good a throw, then any professional should be able to make a play.
I agree with you to an extent, but I think you're reaching a little bit here, Conti.
That's football 101. That's what made Bill Belichick so
but
great.
I don't think the reason that they go, oh, you know what? Time to move on for JC is Christian Barmore's pass rush. We could put anyone back there. Like no.
Well, I'm not saying put anyone.
No, I obviously you know a high level or a higher level corner, but I don't know how much higher you get than JC Jackson. So I don't know.
I'm gonna name off some corners and give me a yes or no as to if you would take them over JC.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey.
No, I'm kidding.
Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah.
You would take so yes for you would take them over JC.
Yes.
Okay. Jair Alexander.
Ooh. Yeah.
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 Okay. Sorry. Hines Ward. Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward. No. I'd keep JC.
You keep. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's a close one. Who else? Marcus Peters.
I'd still keep JC.
You would keep JC?
Yeah.
What about Jesus? Lattimore on the Saints.
No. Yeah, I'd keep JC still.
You would keep JC over Lattimore.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I think
they both get lit up by Diggs in the playoffs, man.
No, I would take Lattimore over. Well, but that Minnesota Miracle wasn't his fault.
He did fully miss the tackle.
No, that was PJ Williams.
Oh, never mind.
That was number 43, making a disgrace of my number. Okay,
how dare you?
Yeah, that was PJ Williams who did that. So, like I said, if you're gonna pay a guy who you would take about 3 or 4 people over, who is arguably not even the top 5 corner, but is gonna be asked to be paid top 3 money, then I don't know, man. You know, I don't know if you give him the bag.
It's tough. It's a tough situation.
And don't forget our 3rd round pick out of OU last year, Ronnie Perkins. You remember that name, or does that sound familiar?
He's a DN, right?
Yeah, DN, like that.
Out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, that OU. So I think that he actually has good run stuffing ability coming from that edge. Okay, so you have.
He was hurt this year, right?
Yes, and it was like the classic like Bill Belichick redshirt year too. You know, and it's strange because not a lot of times do you see a good run stopper from the edge. Well, it's there, but it's not like your typical one, right?
Yeah.
And then not every day you have a pass rusher from the interior. You know, it's a little ass backwards, but it works. You know, or it could work. We'll see how Perkins develops. And don't forget, Godshaw, great signing here. Godshaw was a great signing. Okay, and
he was an actual run stopper. That guy's legit.
Yeah, that guy. Nobody will ever be Vince Wilfork. But but I mean, he was there, and like Malcolm Brown and like Danny Shelton. You know, he was one of those guys, and that's something that we were sorely lacking. Yeah. And even though kind of towards the end it fell apart, during the regular season he was good. Okay, so we have him for another year. Let's see if we choose to extend him. That guy, Ukakale, or whatever the hell, you know who I'm talking about? I believe he signed Ukakale.
I'm sure that's not his name.
Yeah, like Dan. I almost want to say ukulele.
Ukulele.
Yeah, I almost want to say like ukulele.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he actually kind of, towards the year went on, he kind of progressed as well. Okay, so Carl Davis, see you later. Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see something from Henry Anderson, you never know. But I mean, I think that the Pats are honestly in pretty damn good shape. And the only
I think people are overreacting a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you had a rookie quarterback and went 10-7.
We had a rookie quarterback in Buffalo in like negative 10-degree weather, and he didn't play awful.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
He really didn't.
I will say that that Hoyer or not the Hoyer, the Poyer, yeah,
Jordan Poyer.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
I always get that flipped. I don't know why. The interception that he had, that was a fantastic play. That was a good ball from Mag. That's good defense.
And sometimes the defense wins.
So I'll give him that. That was a good ball. I mean, it just he jumped at me. That was a great play. And overall, the other interception was pretty bad. But Mac overall, I mean, he's a rookie. We got to remember that he's a rookie, and he hasn't had anything like this happen to him before. And I honestly don't think we've given him enough help. I think we need more, weapons. I think we need to trust him more. Because while it is very valuable to have a run game, there were times in the season where we're like, oh, dude, just let Mac rip it. Just let Mac Jones throw the ball. That's what he does. That's what he did at Bama. Let him throw the ball. And we just didn't do that for him this year. And I think we need to get him more weapons. And I think, maybe that now he's not a rookie anymore. Bill will trust him because, I highly doubted that Mac was going to start this year. We did a whole episode on it. I thought it was going to be Cam. And then maybe week 8 we see Mac when Cam's hurt. But I'll stay corrected on that. Bill shut me right up.
I'm very glad that you were wrong. No offense.
Oh no,
yeah, I'm very glad you were wrong.
It's not, and I said this on the episode too. I didn't not want Mac to start because I didn't think that Mac was good or I thought he was a bust or something like that. I just wanted him to have time, and I didn't know if he was ready. Obviously, Bill Belichick knows better than me and knew that he was ready. But also, I didn't think Bill was going to start a rookie QB. He never has unless he's had to.
It was insane.
It didn't seem like a possibility to me, but I'll stay corrected on that.
The only time he did was with Jacoby Brissett, and that was when Jimmy G got hurt.
That's so when it comes down to the third stringer, he'll play a QB, rookie QB.
So I want to ask you a question now. So even with all these, I wouldn't say all the injuries. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Even with these free agent signings like Jonnu Smith and Aguilar not working out, say one of the two, have a rebound year. It could be Smith or it could be Aguilar. We already have 3 legit weapons, which is more.
They're okay.
No. Myers
is okay.
Myers and Bourne are good.
Kendrick Bourne is good.
Are starting NFL receivers on any team. Sure. Maybe not the number 1 or 2, but definitely at the very least a 3.
Sure.
Okay, so you have 2 starting quality wide receivers, and you have a big red zone target in Hunter Henry. Say either Jonnu Smith or Nelson Aguilar step up. That is now 4 legit weapons. 4 legit.
They're okay with. I still think you need that guy. It wins you football games. It does.
So but then say both of them step up. Then that's 5.
Okay,
that's
but
5
we're
actual
about a decent
weapons.
player. You need that guy. You need that guy in my opinion. You do.
Well, do you know? Well, want to know what happens? So, say I'll give you 2 scenarios. If Jonnu Smith steps up, then you have all this versatility because then you have the tight end where it's like, is he gonna go? Is he gonna run? Because he can do end arounds. He can line up as a fullback. He's done it before in Tennessee. Or we can just do your normal tight end blocking schemes. So that's 3 things you have to account just for 1 player, and that's not accounting for Hunter Henry, who would also be on the field in most formations, or Myers, Bourne, Aguilar, maybe N'Keal Harry if he's back, maybe, which I hope not.
I don't. It's not a coincidence, right? That I'm gonna name every playoff team, and each one of these guys has a legit weapon at receiver. Bengals, Jamar Chase. Tennessee Titans. I mean, obviously they had Derrick Henry as the main point of it, but you have AJ Brown and you have Julio Jones. Weapons. San Francisco 49ers. You have Deebo Samuel.
And George Kittle.
George Kittle, yeah. The Packers. I mean, Devontae Adams and that whole receiving core is amazing. The Rams. I mean, you have Cooper Kupp, who's become a top receiver this year, and you have OBJ. And the Bucks. I mean, they still have Mike Evans even without Godwin. And they still have Rob Gronkowski. So these are teams. It's no shocker that all these teams that are left have that.
Yeah, and I'm not refuting that, but it's not easy to find those guys. And you have to remember.
But you gotta go get them.
And you have to remember, the Pats system isn't really schemed around having that guy, having that deep threat, that superstar.
It has been the past couple of years, ever since Belichick, he's always had that number 1 receiver. Dude, all right, Deion Branch, right?
But he wasn't a true
number
1 star
he
receiver.
Was.
No, he wasn't.
Was that dude. He was the move the chains guy.
He was a good number 2 wide receiver. He was prime Mohamed Sanu.
Okay,
I'm not saying in terms of play
style.
Now,
they've always had a Gronk, an Edelman, a Randy Moss.
That's tight end.
That's tight end. Weapon. Still a weapon.
Well, okay,
he's still
fine.
a receiver.
Okay, but you're saying more so receiver because we already have Smith and Henry.
Yes.
So let's stick to
I'm
receiver.
fine with our tight ends. I think we need a receiver.
So
a wide receiver.
But okay, so
N'Keal Harry ain't working out.
No, absolutely not. Deion Branch though, he wasn't that star-studded #1 wide receiver. Because when he went to Indy, he sucked, and then he came back and he was all right. Yeah. So he's one of those system guys.
8-4 to the 8-3, baby.
He's good.
Was all over.
He's good. No, Deion Branch is a good, solid receiver in his prime. Yeah, and I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's not this stud guy who you center the offense around. By no means.
Well, yeah, we've never centered the offense around guys.
Well,
that's not what I'm saying.
Moss is the only exception.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, it's Randy fucking Moss.
Yeah,
like, what are you going to do? But even when you had the guy, I'm talking about just someone all reliable, you throw it to him, they move the chains
That's
for you.
Hunter Henry.
No, it's not. Hunter Henry. He's a red zone guy.
But he also, I should have prefaced this earlier. He also was somebody who, Mac Jones, well, where is he? Hunter's there. And 9 times out of 10, he would catch it. You know?
I don't think so. I don't think he's that. I think he's a good red zone guy, but I don't think he's a move the chain.
You don't think Hunter Henry's more reliable?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God! Come on,
dude! Not the way that Edelman was. If it was 3rd down and like 3rd down 7s, like that 3rd and medium, you knew Tom Brady. If no one else, he's going to Edelman. He's going to Gronk. He's going to one of those guys. Even Amendola. He's going to Amendola.
Who did Mac Jones throw it to when he was under duress?
Dude, he really didn't.
He did.
We had a lot of 3 and outs. We had a lot of 3 and outs.
Every offense does.
No,
every offense does.
We stalled it. We were like the 22nd offense.
And, okay, but it's an offense in development. You got to take into account that this offense really struggled at the beginning because lots of free agent signings, which Bill really doesn't do. Everyone had to develop into the huge playbook, and the game plan changes every week. So that's something that I'll kind of let go and chalk it up as kind of like a rookie/development year, and they still made the playoffs.
I think you'll get Mac Jones some fancy new toys. Like, give him someone to throw to. Come on.
Listen,
he's gonna be that guy.
Like who?
I don't know. Allen Robinson, if he's not franchise tag.
We've always had the check down, and then the middle of the field. We've never been like.
Mac loves to push this bitch downfield, man. He loves to throw downfield.
He does have a cannon, and I'm not refuting that. But our offense has, besides Randy Moss, those 1 or 2 years, we've never ever been a team that's centered around that superstar. Okay, and
that team was more centered around Tom.
Yeah, and then don't forget,
if Tom wanted to throw to Randy, he did. He just so happened to love to throw to Randy Moss like any quarterback.
And that's how special of an exception he is. He's the 2nd greatest receiver of all time. Randy Moss is. We tried it with Chad Ochocinco, remember? Didn't work. So that just goes to prove, like, first of all, the greatness of Randy Moss. But second of all, not anybody can just do that, even if you are considered a star at the time. So it's never been what it's about. It's always been moving the chains, get the 5-yard gain, get the 10-yard gain, and when you need to, get the 15 to 20-yard gain. It's never been the toss it down the field. It's never been the Bruce Arians no risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
Which ironically Tom Brady is playing.
I know.
So it's never been like that. So everyone's always like, we need that #1. I go, that's not what the offense is about. It's not.
But I think we just need that reliable chain mover. I don't think
that's what Hunter Henry is.
I don't think we have him right now.
That's what Hunter Henry is.
I don't think he's that guy. I think he's good in the red zone, but I don't think he's on the same level of reliability as Edelman, as Gronk, as guys like that.
That's what Hunter. Okay, obviously Gronk. Like, Gronk is the 2nd greatest tight end of all time.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait,
Tony Gonzalez.
Gino, backtrack to that.
Tony Gonzalez.
Gino,
and
come on.
I will stick by that.
Gino.
I'll stick by it.
You're just not watching football, man.
Huh?
Gronk is the best tight end of all time, and it's not close.
Really? It's not close?
It's not close.
Okay, if Gronk is an A+, what's Tony Gonzalez?
An A.
No.
Yes.
Tony Gonzalez is an A+.
No, Gino.
Tony Gonzalez
Gino.
The longevity
the
of Tony
sports
Gonzalez.
group chat will have your head for this.
I've said it multiple times. The longevity of Tony Gonzalez. He played for 17 years, and 15 and a half of them were prime elite football.
Well, what did they say to you on Falcon and Mass? Gino.
Conti, you're lying.
Conti, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
No.
That is incorrect.
So, okay. I'm not doing this right now, okay?
Fair. Back to the Patriots.
So, first of all, what do you think about Jalen Mills, and what do you think his role should be next year?
He should be gone. No, I'm kidding. That's a
You're
real
not
possibility.
kidding. You're not kidding.
I'm like half kidding.
You're not kidding.
That's a possibility, but you have said he's playing out of position. He should be playing safety because he's a go get the ball type of guy and he's not a lockdown corner. So he could be the next Jason McCourty, or Devin McCourty, where he plays that corner and you know what, you would be better as a safety, and he moves to safety and he's able to just kind of hawk these balls. Jalen Mills is fast, like he's a fast dude. And he's just not good at playing that man to man. Let me lock you up. But we saw when the ball goes over the top, most of the time Jalen Mills is gonna go up again if he's near him. Might I add. He's gonna get in the ball when if guys are just burning him, which they did a lot this year. He doesn't look as good. I think he'd make a really, really good safety. I do, and I'm not ready to fully get rid of Jalen Mills. I know Colin Ames, disagrees, but I like Jalen Mills still. He could go, he could be gone, and I wouldn't be that upset. But
so like I said, I think the best thing personally that could happen, right? So we re-signed Adrian Phillips, okay? So in my opinion, what you do, please, for the love of God, get rid of Jamie Collins, okay?
Sure.
That outside linebacker spot, it would be the middle. In the middle would be Jawan Bentley and hopefully some rookie. Okay.
Uche?
What's that? No, Uche's more of a DN.
Okay.
So Uche's more of a DN. So the middle linebacker, it would go Jawan Bentley and then somebody else, hopefully who's a little bit better, who can complement him in pass coverage. Okay. Van Noy could possibly do it.
Van Noy's okay in pass
but
coverage.
he'd be a little out of position.
Yeah.
So Kyle Van Noy would be the outside linebacker, and then in my opinion, I think you put Adrian Phillips there full time. Because what you have to do is, if you put Jalen Mills at the free safety, because the Pats like to do a lot of too high sometimes. Okay, sometimes they do zero high, but with Phillips and McCourty, like with the amount of good safeties that they've been forced to run more of that too high look. Okay, so I think you put Duggar at the strong safety, put him at that tackling position. Okay, don't ask him to cover that much, and then you put Jalen Mills as your free safety. Then, if you do you want to play scenario if they do or do not re-sign JC?
Let's play if they do.
If they do,
that, yeah.
Okay. So say they franchise tag him for one or two, or franchise tag him 1 year. Let's say they give him like a 2-year extension, but maybe overpay a little, which I'm fine with. Okay. You'd have J.C. Jackson, who towards the end didn't do all that great, but still is a complete player and somebody who you can rely upon to not get burnt by anyone but Stephon Diggs. Okay. You have Jonathan Jones coming back. Don't forget about Jonathan Jones. He's a good slot corner. Okay. Sean Wade. He deserves an opportunity.
Come on, Conti.
What? Listen, we can't say that when he hasn't really had an opportunity.
Okay, sure.
So
I'll stick with you.
Yes. So he's gonna get his opportunity. And he's gonna take his lumps. He's gonna make his mistakes. But coming out of Ohio, he was predicted to be like a first-round pick. Okay, but his bad senior year, bad senior season. Okay, he kind of like got him down. Okay, and he got picked in the 5th round. He still has upside, and I do think that they could capitalize on it a little bit. I'm not saying he's gonna be a stud, but I think that he could amount to something pretty good. Okay.
Sure.
Then that fourth spot. This is what they did with Jackson, J.C. Jackson, when he was a rookie. They kept him on the roster, made him that 4th corner, and then they put him in as he earned playing time and developed more. This is what Bill Cowher does a lot. They start people on special teams, okay, and then as the league goes on, or as the season goes on, or as the years go on, they progressively, if they continue to improve, make their way there.
And you put a quarterback up there, and it's Taysom Hill.
Yeah, that's where I think that undrafted free agent comes in at that 4th slot corner. And honestly, I don't mind that. I really don't mind.
I mean, this defense I still think it needs to develop. We still have a lot of young guys out there. You got Winovich, Uche, you got Barmore.
I think Winovich is gone, honestly.
No, I love Winovich.
Well, he showed nothing.
I love Winovich. Wasn't he hurt a lot this year?
No, he just severely underperformed.
Hey, he'll bounce back. He had a great rookie year. He'll bounce back. Chase Winovich is my boy. I refuse.
If he didn't have long hair, would he be your boy?
No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, because do you know who one of my favorite... Actually, I'll say it. One of my favorite... No, the favorite...
Alex Anzalone?
No, Patriots linebacker.
Who?
Rob Ninkovich.
Oh, everyone loves Nick.
Everyone loved Nick. And it was Ninkovich, and then I was like, Winovich. I'm like, it's his clone!
No.
Dude,
everyone loves Ninkovich.
I'm going to tell a quick story real quick. It's hilarious. I convinced my dad that Rob Ninkovich was Russian. And it was the funniest, and it was like for a couple of months. So like when or for some reason, like Ninkovich just sounded so like Russian to me. I was like, Ninkovic. So whenever he got the sack, I'd be like, oh, it's my friend Ninkovic. And I'd be watching the game with my family, and I'm like, that's my Russian friend. And I would like joke around with
vodka.
No, like literally, I would do like Russian, and I'd be like, it's Rob Ninkovic. Like when he would just,
the Willie Nick Russian accent is elite.
I love doing that. But my dad,
Rasputin.
But my dad, he after all this, he just thought that Rob Ninkovic was a Russian, and that's why I was doing it. Which he's not, like, or at least to my understanding, he doesn't talk with a Russian accent. He just talks like a normal dude. And he was given an interview one time, and he was talking normal, and it was like it blew my dad's mind. He was like, "Rob Ninkovic isn't Russian?" I'm like, "No, like I just do that because it's funny." He's like, what?
You
like
son of a bitch.
It flipped his whole world. So that's a funny story.
Why would you do that to Bill Nick?
It was the funniest thing when he found out he wasn't Russian, because he was like, Ninkovic isn't Russian? I'm like, what? No.
Oh my god. Why would you do that to Bill Nick?
I love Rob Ninkovic. That's my boy. Chase Winovich is the reincarnation.
No. He is a Walmart Alex Anzalone, and Alex Anzalone is at the very most a decent starter.
There's always that one.
I love
there's that
Anzalone.
one like Patriots like linebacker or like defensive player that I always ride with, and like it's my favorite. It was Rob Ninkovic, and I did the Russian voice, and now for Chase Winovich, I tried to do like a surfer voice, but it's not the same.
Oh!
Dude, I'm experiencing high tide.
High tide, dude. Catch a wave.
That's literally what I tried to do. It's not the same. It's not as fun. The Rob Ninkovic one was the most fun.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Gotta love it.
Well,
love it.
I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, unless you want to talk about some O-line.
I think we've talked about enough of the O-line. But you know who you can never talk too much about, Gino?
Oh, it's at the tip of my tongue.
It's our good old pal,
John Bro.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.